Now that you've had a chance to look back on the film, how would you evaluate how you guys did in that game, and what's it going to take to continue to improve moving forward?
I think the key word you just said was improving. Just trying our best to evaluate the film, be very critical of the good and the bad that was happening in the game. But I definitely evaluate the film as it was a progression. You know what I mean? It was better than what it was the first 2 weeks. Not perfect. We could have been better, but we feel like our guys they had a little bit more energy in the game and they played with a little bit more confidence. But those are the things that we kind of took from it, and definitely want to keep that trend going. But I think the improvement was the main thing. We just got to keep moving forward.
We talked a lot about Asher O'Hara last week leading up into that game, and he's a player that's going to get his. I think he had 98 yards rushing, but then the rest of their team, their backs, only had 4 yards combined. I guess what was the biggest key in slowing them down?
Well, I got to give a credit off to one to our defensive line for understanding that they were a spread team and they kind of had to handle the run and the quarterback, which is hard, So we wanted to make sure that they didn't get any, big plays in all areas. We knew that, at some point you're going to break, but I think we gave up for us the way we counted as 4 big plays. That's a good number for that kind of offense. But I think the focus is just to make sure we do our job. Obviously we always got to account for everyone, every single play. And our guys did a good job of executing the plan, more important.
Coach, moving to this weekend's game, what do you see that you're impressed with Marshall's offense?
Mm-hmm. They're a steady offense, and they come out and they do what they do. They have a big offensive line. I think that's what stands out the most. Obviously, they have the the conference MVP, Brandon Knox. I think he's definitely a bona fide player who's proven himself. I think the wide receivers have been there for a while. It's a really solid football team. Like I said, you can tell they know what they're doing, and it's a well-coached team as well.
Yeah, I'm talking about Brandon Knox. Do you try to get, is the game plan to stop him or just kind of like neutralize him?
Well, I feel like last year, I don't like going back to last year, but we definitely don't want him to we don't want him to have his career day against us, He's a good player. He understands how to get an ugly 4 yards. Sometimes you go against running backs, they'll try to do too much and they won't get anything. But he understands the scheme that they're running. He understands the blocking schemes. He's a big time back. So your job is really to go out there and make sure that that we fit our plays, and plays that are supposed to be dead, they should be dead based on how we play as well. But definitely want to give him any layups. Want to make sure he goes to the free throw line and earn everything he gets.
Coach Jared with the Daily News here. The one guy you didn't mention, Grant Wells, their quarterback. I guess what kind of challenges does he present, maybe compared to some of the other quarterbacks that you've faced this year?
I feel like every week it's going to be facing a really good quarterback at this level. Grant Wells is definitely. I can see why he moved into the role that he's in. He has a lot of talent. He can actually run. Things break down. He can make plays. He's a really good thrower on the run, which that's probably the best that we've seen as far as a quarterback on the move. He's accurate. Throws a really nice ball and a catchable ball. His receivers love catching the ball from him. But I think he's a young quarterback that I know he seemed like he has experience. So they found a good one.
With him and with the receivers that they have, just looking at their stats, they've got a ton of guys that have caught a ball already this season. Yeah. What kind of challenges does that present to your secondary, and what's it going to take to have a strong performance out of those guys?
It's going to take a great Saturday for our guys to be focused, understanding who they're going against. You have Xavier Gaines, who's a really good player. You have 13, who wore 88 last year, is a good player. You have Willie Johnson, who's been there for about 7 years. It feels like so he's a player that's definitely stepped his play up. You can tell that they definitely go to him more than they have in the past. They have a really good group. They've done a good job. Doc Holliday is a former wide receivers coach, so I know for sure he's going to make sure that he has those kind of bodies in the building and make sure those guys are happy.
Coach, I know you just said when we were talking about Brendan Knox that you don't like to look back on last year necessarily, but going back to Saturday's game, that kind of had a feel of like one of those games last year where you guys were having all that success, where it was a really good defensive performance. Does that give you guys any more confidence as you guys move into this week and throughout the season?
I would say naturally, yes. Naturally it should. Our guys should be able to look at each other and make sure that everything was all right, so that we were just really some plays away from also doing that, playing even better. So that's the motivation is to continue progression. It's not about what we did. It's about whatever we did, let's progress. Let's have fun while doing it. Let's make sure that we find a way to get to the last 5 minutes, like Coach Helton always speak about, and give us the team the best chance to come out victorious. But it's all about improving every single step, every single day with this defense, and it's a lot of football left, and we're excited about it.